Hello, beautiful people. It's Mai here from Nintendo Life, and I've got to be honest with you. When I was writing this script, I found it really hard to put words down because this is a topic that is really close to my heart, as well as being someone who has had good old fun with that brain of theirs. In case you didn't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so you might see news outlets, big companies, and even small organisations raising awareness for the cause. And although you might see it portrayed in TV shows and movies, I honestly feel like video games do it best. So I've made a list of games that explore mental health respectively, as well as, they're pretty decent, so give them a go. Now, without further ado, let's get stuck in. Now, I'm going to apologise for my butchering of the pronunciation of this first game, but we're starting off with Gris, a true masterpiece and a game I was both apprehensive and desperate to play. I'm so glad I did though, because at the time that I was playing, it really helped me. Starting out in a desaturated world, you play as a young girl as she experiences the 5 stages of grief, with each chapter completed, bringing colour to the world. It's a moving experience, both creatively and emotionally. Plus, with it being a short game of about 3 or 4 hours, it's hard not to forget the poignant moments it brings. I instantly fell in love with the breathtaking, hand-drawn art style, fantastic music, and no-fuss storytelling that the platforming and puzzles were the cherry on top for me. Having only played Gris a couple of times, both playthroughs were truly memorable experiences for me, and looking at this footage now only makes me want to play it all over again. This next game is a pretty popular choice, but if you're into challenging platformers with a cracking storyline, then Celeste will be right up your alley. Playing Celeste, you must make your way up the mountain whilst also attempting to overcome her anxiety along the way. Like times of high anxiety, the platforming is challenging, sometimes frustrating, but my god is it worth it in the end as you come out the other side. Much like the previous game, Celeste brings a great mix of strong platforming mechanics, storytelling, and creative presentation to make this a must-play. There's a reason Celeste is so highly praised and labelled as very difficult, but it's worth every penny. Next up, a bit of a change from the previous games on our list is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Set in a world seeping with Norse mythology, you play as Senua, a picked warrior trekking to Helheim to save her lover's soul. Clearly dealing with trauma, Senua also struggles with psychosis, which is perfectly executed and manifested through Ninja Theory's incredible use of sound design. Let's just say that I would highly recommend you play this with headphones on to get the full experience. How Ninja Theory handles the representation of mental health, specifically psychosis in the game, has been highly praised for their collaborative work with experts at the University of Cambridge and University of Durham. Going the extra mile resulted in Senua's condition being so accurately portrayed. So if you're looking for more of a darker, gritty looking game with excellent combat, I must say, then Senua's Sacrifice is for you. I really feel like Wandersong doesn't get the recognition it deserves. With its gorgeous art style, accessibility features, silly humour, and, of course, themes of mental health, its colourful and whimsical appearance can be mistaken for something completely unassuming. In Wandersong, you play as the Bard, the unintended hero of the story, as they go on their quest to learn more about the mysterious Earth Song and try to save their world in the process. Of course, as the Bard, using songs to solve puzzles is your go-to, but you'll also meet characters struggling with something other than the universe's impending doom. Don't be fooled by its simplicity though. Behind this veil of fun platforming and cheery music, you'll discover themes of depression, anxiety, and that age-old issue, imposter syndrome. It's fine though, just sing a song to solve your problems. If only it were that easy. Now, I would absolutely love to recommend Spiritfarer to everyone I meet. However, if you've recently lost someone in your life, then I would definitely suggest you give this one a miss or wait a little while like I did. In Spiritfarer, you play as Stella, a ferry master to the deceased, tasked with helping souls move on to the afterlife. If the art style, comforting gameplay, and music don't pull you in, then this story, lovable characters, and overall message certainly will. Spiritfarer on the surface is a cozy management game, which in a very real way deals with the topics of grief, mortality, and depression with great respect. I personally dipped in and out of the game over several months, but every moment was a true comfort for me. All I can say is expect some tears, as the goodbyes can be very, very bittersweet. No pun intended, but Disco Elysium is a cocktail of exploring different mental health conditions. You play as Harry, a detective suffering with alcohol and drug-induced amnesia. The game directly deals with the likes of substance abuse in the form of drug and alcohol addiction and pinpoints themes such as depression, trauma, and psychosis. This gritty isometric RPG also showcases its healing mechanics in the form of morale, which can be affected if Harry struggles with any extreme emotional states such as anxiety or depression. Disco Elysium is really unique in a way, as taking damage is usually physical and not necessarily psychological. Married with the beautifully harsh art style, Disco Elysium is a game you should definitely play at least once. A bit of a curveball, I know, but hear me out. When you hear Super Mario Galaxy, you don't instantly think of mental health themes, but we think it's a suitable entry. Everyone's favourite Mother of the Stars has been through the ringer. Through the Rosalina storybook, you'll soon discover that she's gone through a fair share of trauma with the death of her mother, leaving her own home planet, and coping with said trauma by becoming an adoptive mother herself to the Lumas in hopes of filling that void. Considering her demeanour when you meet her in the game, she seems to be coping well. But, of course, like many people, that's just a mask she wears. If only this was some sort of Rosalina game, but alas, you'll be playing as the seemingly cheerful plumber trying to save Princess Peach once more from the clutches of Bowser throughout the galaxies. Now, if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go play some other Mario games to see if there are any other traumatic backstories. I sincerely feel like this indie darling is frequently on lists, and for good reason. Night of the Woods tells the story of May, a college dropout returning to her hometown and navigating her place in the world, but specifically Possum Springs. Along with the mystery of why May dropped out of college and the town itself, Night in the Woods depicts mental health issues with utter grace. Conditions such as depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and burnout are just a few the game covers. And although it doesn't specifically label each character with these conditions, it doesn't shy away from it either. Sprinkled on top of the seriousness of the story are some genuinely funny moments, Guitar Hero style mini games, and something comforting with its portrayal of mental health. Next up is Omori, a game which on the outside could be mistaken for your standard turn-based RPG, but it is so much more than that. We will preface that this game, although it looks like it might be suitable for children, it certainly is not, and it can also be quite triggering for adults. But without trying to spoil it too much, you play as the titular Omori, a young boy void of colour who lives in the infinite hellscape known as White Space. Able to leave White Space and join his gaggle of friends on adventures, which of course brings the likes of Earthbound to mind, Omori isn't a happy-go-lucky bog-standard RPG. It's not long before it pulls the rug from under you and becomes a psychological horror. Omori's story is ultimately about mental health and the internal struggles people face with said mental health. A rare mechanic also included in the game is its battle system, focusing on emotions as strengths and weaknesses, which is very fitting for the story. And last but certainly not least, Sea of Solitude. As the title might suggest, Sea of Solitude is about a young woman called Kay who is slowly becoming a monster as she sails the seas in hopes for a cure. But of course it's never that simple, because it's actually her hopelessness, loneliness, and declining mental health that's transforming her. Unlike other games, Sea of Solitude is able to explore the struggles of mental health in an authentic way, whilst also keeping the action going and creating a haunting atmosphere in the process. This is pretty evident with the lingering giant monster behaving as a frequent reminder of what you might become. Although I originally played it on a different platform, I'd still say give Sea of Solitude Director's Cut on the Switch a go. You might find it worth your while. And there you have it, some wonderful games which explore mental health that we think are definitely worth a go. If there are any games that we missed out that deserve a mention, then let us know in the comments below. And while you're there, why don't you give that subscribe button a little hug? A big ol' hug even, because I think it needs it. And check out nintendolife.com for some lovely Nintendo bits and bobs. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching, and have a good one. Bye!